Hi, this is Joseph Backholm with the Family Policy Institute of Washington here with a January 29 update on what's happened this week in the legislature and looking forward a little bit to next week as well, the first week of February. Again, we are in a 60-day session, so we are almost to the halfway point of the session. Things are moving very quickly, so you will need to be checking back frequently to see things as they develop because there's a lot of deadlines happening. The news this week and really into next week as well, dominated by bathrooms, lots of potty talk. We are dealing with we had a hearing this week in the legislature in the Senate Labor and Commerce Committee. About somewhere between 500 and 800 people showed up, the vast majority of the people very concerned about the Human Rights Commission's new rule. The bill was voted out by the committee and it has now advanced to the Rules Committee. And it is expected that this coming Monday, February 1st, that bill will be pulled out of the Rules Committee and it will be available to be taken up on the Senate floor at any time once it gets out of the Rules Committee. Now, that bill, what it does is it simply repeals the rule, or basically nullifies the rule that the Human Rights Commission passed, and then tells the Human Rights Commission they may no longer make rules about bathrooms. However, there's another bill moving through the Senate, and that bill is Senate Bill 6548, and it's going to have a hearing in the Senate Law and Justice Committee this coming Monday at 1:30, and the public is again encouraged to attend and make sure your legislator knows how you feel about this issue. But that's this coming Monday, February 1st at 1:30 in the afternoon in the Senate Law and Justice Committee. This bill actually goes a step further and clarifies that schools and private accommodations cannot face legal liability for maintaining gender-segregated facilities. And in the same way, it clarifies that none of us has a right to access the bathroom of a different gender. And so it would essentially maintain the status quo, what the public has kind of always expected, that certainly transgender people use bathrooms on occasion that are connected to their gender identity, but it does not attach legal liability for schools or businesses that would try to enforce a gender-segregated bathroom in cases where it's clearly appropriate. So that's Senate Bill 6548. Going to be a hearing on that on Monday, and all that action is in the Senate. Over in the House, we still have House Bill 2589, a very similar bill to what's going on in the Senate. It has received no action. Representative Lori Jenkins continues to insist that she's not going to give that bill a hearing in her committee. So she needs to continue to hear from you. Your representatives also need to continue to hear from you as well. But there is action on this issue in the Senate. One other bill that you probably want to pay attention to for next week, we think there's going to be some action, introduced very recently here, and this is Senate Bill 6612. It is not a bathroom issue. This bill actually has to do with banning sex selection abortion. And this is kind of a trend around the country that a number of states have gone this step and saying, you know, abortion is legal, of course, but we don't believe an appropriate justification for abortion is, well, this baby is the wrong gender, so I want to kill it. And the reality is the vast majority of sex selection abortions target baby girls. And so this hearing, which could happen Monday or Tuesday, and it hasn't been announced yet, so we don't know for sure. So pay attention to the website, hub.fpiw.org. Go to our bill tracker. You can find Senate Bill 6612, and you can see when the hearing is going to be scheduled. But if you attend that hearing, you can see the abortion industry try to claim why it is a women's rights issue to be able to kill babies just because they're girls. Should be very interesting, if not sad. So that's a few of these issues. Again, there's a lot of other bills, some of which are moving, some of which are not. Check with us frequently, hub.fpiw.org. Our website, of course, is fpiw.org, and we are trying to provide as many updates as we can on these issues that we know you care about. So check in a lot. Let us know if you have any questions. info@fpiw.org is our email address. Happy to hear from you. Happy to help however we can. For the Family Policy Institute, I'm Joseph Backholm.